What's going on, people? Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. Now we're gonna get into something new. Invite people to the show. Have different topics besides transit topics. We're gonna talk about a lot of social issues that we see in the news, and gonna make it exciting. Bring different guests on the show. So you could consider this show right here almost like a test run, because we still trying to knock out a few of the kinks and things like that. So without further ado, I want to introduce the co-host for today's show. We got my Uncle Cope, and we got Cousin Wilson. What's going on, y'all? Big round of applause for y'all, man.
Clap it up.
Nah, but for real, like I said, I want to get different people's perspectives. So we're going to be able to fly people in on the show live. As you can see, they both, what is it right here? They both on top. The screens is right there. I love it. It looks good. How you guys doing today? What's up, Cope?
Everything good, man.
Everything good? Shout out to Cope, man. Like, y'all don't know, like, I see him on Facebook, and he's giving out so much knowledge, going back and forth with his followers, and it gets very interesting and tense at times. And of course, we got my cousin Jamel here, and he's another knowledgeable person. Let me share the shot. Let me share the show out while we watching live. Let me just put it out there. But it's a few things that we want to talk about today, just as a test run. And this show originally is supposed to have been with Coke and LaShawn, because these two guys be battling back and forth on Facebook, and it'd be so funny. But like I said, this is a test run. Jamel's going to be a regular on the show, but this is just like a extension of the Progressive Action TV show, the regular TV show. Who kid want milk?
My son won't milk. And they do this as soon as I get on the phone.
They trying to be famous, man. Don't be mad. They trying to get their worldwide on too.
Yeah. So for everybody that's out there that's watching, it's all right. For everybody that's out there that's watching, make sure that you share out the show. Like I said, this is a test run to what's really to come, what's to come. And like I said, we expanding the show. So one of the first things I want to touch on today is the black woman who was shot by the white cop. Now it seems like that we not safe in our own homes, no matter what. Your home's supposed to be your castle, supposed to be your safe haven, and we not safe in our own homes. How you feel about that, Cope?
I agree. Across the board, everybody says the same thing. I mean, white and black people, with any sense, they're going to tell you that your home's supposed to be a castle. Whether it's from the police or was from the bad guys, the good guys, it just seems like it don't make a difference. People just could just walk up in your house or walk on your property and assume that they can do whatever they want, and that's not the case. The law is the law. The police is supposed to do one thing. They're supposed to maintain the law. They're supposed to be taking lives by mistake. No error, human error. I'm not going for that. They train for how many amount of months or years to do this job. They need to do it right, especially when they got a weapon in their hand. Like that call, I found out so many different pieces of information that it got frustrating to me, because this was a 311 call.
Correct.
This was a non-emergency call. Police decided to escalate it themselves. Whether any cop want to say they were doing their regular routine operation, whatever they want to call it. Number one, they parked their cars in the area where no one knew a police were in the area. They parked the cars, lights out, around the corner, and then they walked up on the building. So from what I understand from other police, that's standard operating procedure. But I don't see what's standard operating procedure on a non-emergency. But I'm not a first responder. Any way you look at it, the lady's door was open. anyone would say, well, listen, there's a robbery, a burglar, or something like that. Let me address that front door. I think it was about five cops, three cop cars, 5 or 6 cops. None of them stopped to knock on this woman's door or to see if somebody was in that apartment with the lights on or nothing like that. They immediately went to the back, to the side to look in the windows and do all that. I can't accept that.
And
I
and,
can't
and
accept that.
and like you said, it wasn't a 911 call, it was a 311
It was
call.
311.
But let me ask you a
Exactly.
question. What about the neighbor? Why didn't it, like, you expect to have your neighbors' phone numbers, especially in the South? It seemed like they more, together down there than us in New York. Why didn't the neighbor try to reach out to make sure everything was all right, especially if they knew that the person was sick or whatever the case was in the house?
And see, that was the other thing. That man got to live with what that happened, what he done. And being a neighbor, I mean, you would think that they would have enough heart to go over there and walk and see whether they are right before they called anybody.
Correct.
But I'm not going
Mhm.
to see. I'm not going to go back and blame that man for him doing what he was supposed to do, because if he had went over there armed into some vigilanteism, then he would have been in just as much trouble because he would have had to defend himself or maybe getting killed himself. So I'm not gonna put so much blame on him. I'm not gonna put so much blame on him. But like you said, if he knew that the lady was gone, the original homeowner was gone, that he should have tried to reach out to that household, whoever was in there, because like you said, don't they have phone calls? Make a phone call over to the house, see who was in the house before you immediately call anybody. I
Correct.
agree with you.
Correct. What you think?
I
What you
agree
think,
with you.
Jamel?
Well, the thing is, in these states, that's I believe y'all refresh me. What state was this?
Dallas,
This was
Texas.
Texas,
Texas.
Fort
Okay,
Worth.
okay, down in Texas. So, um, unlike New York, Texas is a state where you can have, I believe you can have a carry permit in the state of Texas. But basically, what people got to learn is that law enforcement will not be punished if there's no law in the books that says that law enforcement gets punished for shooting people, unarmed people, armed people, whatever. So that's what people got to, you got to put in their minds. But it is a shame that you can't even be in your own home, and whether it's an apartment, a house, wherever. Your home is your sanctuary, and your home is your place where you get away from people. Just again, the place where you rejuvenate yourself. You know, it's a shame
Right.
that things like this have to happen. So um, on one hand, they say, okay, the Second Amendment says, you have a right to bear arms or whatever. But then when you do take it upon yourself to defend yourself, now you got to go through hell because you defended yourself,
Right.
even against law enforcement.
Yeah.
Right.
And they tried to say that, she had a gun, but they got a law down there called the Castle Doctrine, I think, where you allowed
Yeah.
to legally, have a gun in your home and to protect your home. So now they trying to set up the narrative that, she had a gun, but they don't know if she carried that gun to the window or, you know, if you watch the video, he ain't even give her a chance. There's no way he seen a gun that quick.
Well, the castle doctrine is something meaning that you're allowed to protect yourself. You're allowed to use deadly force, especially on your own property, to defend yourself. That's what the castle doctrine is. But the thing about southern states, everybody has a gun. So all of that BS about she had a gun in her hand, everybody got a rifle, they got a long gun, they got a short gun. That don't hold no damn weight when you talk about a southern state.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
some of them you don't even have to own to go and purchase. All you need to do is file something with, like in Charlotte or something. All you got to do is go down to the precinct, file what you call a file for your permit. You can have up to 5 guns in your house. So her coming to the window or walking around her house with a weapon in her hand, that's a business. But for her to actually use that weapon, that's where the castle doctrine comes in. She's allowed to do that. That's to stand your ground. That's the version of stand your ground. Now, the issue that you was talking about, even against the police, the only state that's even attempting to give citizens the right to do that is Indiana. And I just found that out. Indiana just passed the law or put something on the books where a person is allowed to use deadly force even against the police. That's the only one state that I heard that about.
That's crazy.
Because of situations like this, because situations just like this, where somebody come on your property and they not properly identifying themselves. They the first threat. They send the first shot. You don't think that? You would think that they sent that first shot and it would have missed her? If she would have returned fire and bust his head, that she would have been wrong? How could she be wrong when she don't know who the hell is outside her door?
They never announced themselves.
They never announced themselves. So if he would have missed her and she would have turned fire and bust his head, she would have been in trouble. She would have been in trouble. And then like you said, that castle doctrine would have had to come in effect for her to defend in her own property. But the thing about it is that people saying if you kill police, then you're wrong, or there's no way out of it. But how could there be no way out of it when we keep going over the fact that they never announced themselves? They never followed proper procedure. They never did anything right on that court. You just imagine yourself inside with your son, your nephew, or whoever it is, and somebody shining a light in your in your window. You can't see them no matter more than they can see you. And something come through the window and miss you. What you gonna do? You gonna tear it up? You gonna tear them up?
Correct. Correct.
But we having this issue where I made a statement about I think Fort Worth need to shoot first and shoot first before the cops kill you, because it's either two things happen. You get killed or you catch a charge. Which one you want?
I mean, I'd rather catch a charge.
Right. Because people tell in our world, everybody tell you I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not propagating killing police and nothing like that. I'm saying anybody coming to my property that I don't know, that don't belong there, I should be able to defend myself just as hard or as fierce as they are.
Especially if you're not defending yourself. But we never hear this type of stuff happen to Caucasians. This type of stuff only happens to people of color.
Cause I can go into that too, man. They knew the neighborhood. They knew what neighborhood. They were predisposed to do what they did. They knew these neighborhoods are always, if they're not redlined, they separated geographically by this is the white side and it's the black side. So when they make the call, if they go on Martin Luther King Boulevard, who lives on Martin Luther King Boulevard? And who lives on Dr. Pepper Boulevard?
Well, I mean, it's different now with all the gentrification because the Martin Luther King Boulevard is all those is being gentrified. The Martin Luther King Boulevards, the Malcolm X Boulevards, and so.
But listen, but you see the statement, Cope, that you just made. It just goes to show you how old we all are, because before the gentrification, that's exactly what was going on. It's like they knew where to bring that type of drama. They knew where not to bring that drama and where to bring that drama to. Yeah. And in neighborhoods like in Brooklyn, they knew to bring that nonsense to Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brownsville. Yeah. They know they could go in there and kill anybody they want to, but let them go to Dyker Heights and at the Bensonhurst back in the day, and Bay Ridge. That was not happening.
Howard Beach.
It wasn't happening. So
definitely Howard Beach. They definitely ain't going to Howard Beach.
They ain't going to Howard Beach.
They definitely ain't going
to Howard Beach.
Yo, did y'all see on YouTube the speaking of Howard Beach? Did y'all see on YouTube the Sammy the Bull Gravano interview? His first interview in 20 years?
I ain't see it now.
Oh, yo, it's big. Why he snitched and what kind of dude John Gotti was and all types of craziness, man.
He gave it up.
He gave it all the way up. Like he I mean, you ain't supposed to tell when you in that type of, environment and you with the mafia, you ain't supposed to tell. But his reasoning for telling, you like, all right, I understand, but you still not supposed to tell. But it's something that you got. Matter of fact, the next show that we do, I want us to discuss the whole snitching, the Tekashi thing, because when it comes to snitching, people only tend to want to get at the snitches who's not killers. So everybody is crucifying Tekashi right now.
I hear what you're saying.
But but they tiptoe when you talk about Alpo, Sammy the Bull Gravano.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Alpo is glorified, and he did way worse than what Tekashi did. But Tekashi is the face of all rats now. I don't understand that.
I think that he's the biggest joke because he wasn't built for war in the first place. I don't think he was never built for war. He was just running around with the boys that did certain things. So
but is it about being built for war or being built for jail?
He's not built for neither one. He ain't built for neither one.
So what's Alpo excuse?
Alpo just did it because Alpo's greasy. Yeah, Alpo don't give a fuck. He can do it inside or outside. He gonna be greasy in the out. What he care? He greasy. But Alpo done went to other states and did the same shit to dudes that he did here. He's built for. Some say he built for war. He gonna, whether he up north or whether he in the street, he gonna do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't care because I'm not doing anything for anyone to rat on me. But my thing is that don't hate one rat and then love the other one. You know what I'm saying? If you can't crucify Alpo, don't crucify Tekashi.
I'm only laughing at Tekashi because he bought all of that. Because his whole thing on in his music is raw. Everything is raw. I mean, I like his beats, I like his energy, but everything he's talking about, if he did that, I don't think he'd be alive. Everybody see him walking down the street would have to either get off the street or somebody just have to kill him because he's just real. You're not gonna kill a government informant. You know what I'm saying? No. He's safe out here. Nobody's gonna kill Tekashi. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody mad at Tekashi, but Tekashi wasn't the one who took them down all the way. It was another dude who was in there snitching. Really that really took him down. That nobody ain't talking. Right. Know what I'm saying? He been working with the feds for like they was gonna go down regardless. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I knew the black dude that you're talking about. Yeah, but he was bankrolling them with that money, with that. Yeah. And that's what got him in there. And that's why he got to tell everybody because he wasn't all. He had his foot halfway in. He had his foot in the door. I don't think he was halfway in or halfway out. I think he had his foot in the door, and they was getting money from him. And what little bit he knew, he was just picking. He was giving the crumbs. He was giving them crumbs. With them crumbs is enough to take. I mean, I don't even think that he knew anything. I just think that the feds rolled out the carpet for him to open up the door. But I mean, there's no snitching. There's no. I don't glorify snitching, man. If you know what you're getting yourself into, and you can't face the consequences that come with it, don't tell, man. Mm-hmm. Part you ain't never lied. Say don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Do the time, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it should be. Yo, Coke, did you hear about Cuomo, Governor Cuomo using the N-word?
Yeah, I heard that, and somebody said it's all about context. But the thing about that is with this dude is that he's Sicilian. He's got Sicilian family members. What happened with me was he said that he's half Sicilian. I said, well, if you half Sicilian, what's your other half? Because what the fuck you talking about? You half Sicilian. He said that shit was crazy. He said somebody called me a nigga, a wop, or something like that. He said I didn't know how to take it, whatever the case may be. And I was like, wait a minute. We all know the history of Sicily, right? We know they got black in them. So he's saying he's Sicilian, but Sicilians are Italians.
You know what? But before you finish, let me play the clip, and we're gonna come right back. Let me play the clip.
We gotta talk about this.
Oh well, yeah. Times also said in an article the other day, apropos of nothing, they were talking about it, going back to the Italian Americans, because you now have me.
I read the article. Yep.
They used an expression that Southern Italians were called, I believe they were saying Southern Italians, Sicilians, I'm half Sicilian, were called, quote unquote, and pardon my language, but I'm just quoting the Times, nigger wops, N-word wops, as a derogatory comment. When I said that WAP was a derogatory comment, that's when the Times Union told me, no, you should look in Wikipedia. WAP really meant a dandy. I'm sure that's what they were saying to me back in Queens. You're a dandy. When they looked at me with scorn and gave me a hand gesture and called me a wasp. So that's the New York Times.
Get the fuck out of here!
Right, that's what I was gonna tell you. Yo, we lost your sound.
I can't hear you, cuz.
My fault. What y'all think about that?
Okay.
Go ahead, Jamal.
What you think about that, Jamel? Yeah.
Let me see. Basically, he said he said he's half Sicilian, and I'm saying to myself, okay, what are you, half Sicilian? The other half is Northern Italy. I mean, it's all Italian. Like, what the fuck? You know, that's like, you know, I'm half. That's like saying half of me is from North Carolina and the other half from South Carolina. So,
that's what I'm saying.
So you know, but basically, listen, you know, the part about taking it out of context is, I guess what he was trying with some certain people taking it out of context. I guess what he was trying to tell people, which is basically true, and how immigrants were treated back 60, 70 years ago in this country and here in New York City, of course, that but especially Italians. I don't know who more, but Italians and Irish and a couple other ethnic immigrant groups were treated were from the Anglo-Saxons here were treated like how we were treated. They were treated like niggas. So they were called the N-word amongst them. Amongst them. But when it came to us, we were pure niggas. Exactly. We were in the lower class, below the Italians and the other immigrants. Exactly. Okay, which was even worse. So I can't feel, you know, I don't know. I guess I can't feel what they I can't feel what they feel when they say what they say, because my people were treated worse than them. And it's still the same way now. Our people are treated worse than them. You see what I'm saying? So it's all good that you understand where you come from, you know, how y'all people were treated and how y'all were done in y'all country. But just like Tremel always say, as far as everybody else wants us to forget our struggle and our fight and our history, but we not supposed to forget theirs.
But how do y'all feel about him saying the word nigga? Like, he couldn't censor himself. Like, he couldn't say N-word himself.
No. I see that. See, I'm conflicted there, because see, when I'm saying context, how I was taking it, does it matter context? Was he I didn't read the Times article.
It actually said it. It actually said niggas.
So then I'm gonna just say that he actually was reading. He read off what the Times said. We should have a problem with the Times, because the Times gave him something to work with. Because the Times gave him something to work with, because he ain't got no time to work around calling nobody no niggas. He ain't got no time. That's the worst thing for his career is to come out his face and use that on his own.
No, he knows, but we know he know better than that. But why couldn't he censor himself to say, look, the Times said N-word? He got the highest elected seat in the state. Right. So he couldn't censor himself and say N-word. If you want to see what the actual wording was, you could go look at the Times article.
That's true. But that, you know what though? These are the liberties, and this is the privilege that some people have to the highest degree, that we supposed to automatically accept it. See, the reason why I'm conflicted is because it's not that I don't feel the pain of being Sicilian, because Sicilians were never treated as black people. But I try to emphasize the fact that if your own people call you the N-word, imagine how we feel. And then my next thing was, you said you Sicilian, and you want to go through to talk about the Times. Talk about being Sicilian. Let's break that down. We know that an African ran through Sicily.
For fact.
Made them and spread their seed through Sicily.
The Moors, yes.
Right. No, I'm Carl. Right. Hannibal. Mm-hmm. He ran through them, and the world knows their history. They know their history. If he want to use the N-word, then talk the whole thing about Sicilians. But instead of say I'm half Sicilian. Don't leave people guessing I'm half Sicilian. What you saying? I'm half black? What is he saying? What I want to know what he's saying. But I'm half black. That's what I'm saying. So I'm half black. I'm Sicilian, so that makes me half black and makes me half Italian. Is that what he want to say? Let's say that, and I respect that more than him saying the Times called me the N word. The N word. Why? And I don't think that people should go around because the N word transwords to the W word. So you don't want to go around calling no Sicilian that because that'll leave them lose their damn mind just as much as we gonna lose our mind when somebody call us the N word.
But will Cuomo use a derogatory word to describe a Jew? Will he have done that?
No. You know how that go. You know how to go. The defense, the Jewish JDL would have been down at his door in a minute before he got
New York
before
minute.
He got up there. The JDL would have been knocking on his door. The JDL would have been right there. They ain't playing with them. You can't say nothing about them. They don't even play the words. Like even Puppy's song, he stacked chip like he stacked chip. You can't even say Hebrews.
Oh yeah.
You can't say nothing. They sense it. There's nothing. There's no politician.
I mean, look what they did with Jay-Z or on the 444 album when he said something about Jews and the Jewish Defamation League came at him and
there you go.
And he didn't even say nothing crazy. But my thing with Cuomo is if you can't use terms to describe, like if it was a Jewish term, he would have censored himself. Why you ain't censor yourself for using the N-word? You know what I'm saying?
Totally understand you.
I think that was conduct unbecoming. He need to get written up or something, man. Something need to happen with him. Conduct unbecoming of the governor, man.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. He should have used better judgment. But I went into it a little bit deeper to ask him what does he consider himself. Since Sicilians have given such a negative being Sicilian has a negative connotation because they have black heritage or descent. What was he half of? I just want to know what you have, what you say, what you saying, man.
You think he would say black?
I want to know. That's what I want to know. I'm half Sicilian. What other half is you, man? What half is Sicilian? And what has it? That's what I want him to tell me. Because we know it's Italy and Sicily, we consider them the same, and they know they're the same. So what you saying? I'm half black, and that gives you the right to say that word? That's what I want to know. Is that why you saying it? You so free to say that? So, like I said, man, he should have. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm just going into the interview. I'm digging deeper into it before I get automatically. I go from 0 to 60 on him. You know what I'm saying? Because if he want to acknowledge his African heritage, okay, that's cool.
But it say that Sicilians. It says that Sicilians is like part of Arabic, French, Catalan, and Spanish. It says nothing about black though.
But see, this is what history. See, this is what's fucked up about history. They insult our intelligence to the highest degree. They tell you all about how all of these other ethnicities, but Hannibal was a black man, and Sicilians know who the fuck they are. They know what the fuck happened to them. So it doesn't make a difference what they Spanish, Arab, whatever the case may be. Hannibal went through them and tore their ass up. All right. And now they know, and the history books don't want to put Carthaginian in. And Carthaginian is North Africa. Anybody want to say Sicilians have African descent in them, but the history books want to deny that. And that's the story of our lives, man. That's the story of our lives. Even that man, when he said I'm half Sicilian, he didn't want to say, which he ultimately saying to me, is that he half black. If you want to be Sicilian, then you got some black in you. That's it. Bottom line.
That's a good question to ask. I ain't think about that.
Ask him that. Ask him
and
that.
So
I mean,
he watched the show. Ask him.
Right, and Utano, the union, and Coke. Listen, Utano, the union boss. He's 100% Sicilian. He'll let you know he's 100% Sicilian. So that means he's 100% black.
He 100%.
And I know. And I know somewhere up his family tree there's Sicilians who's darker than us. The three of us sitting here.
You ain't lying, bro.
I know.
You ain't lying.
I know for a fact.
You're not
So
lying.
that's why I just look. It's just it again. Our history, our immediate history within the last 50 to 60 years, they've been trying to identify with Anglo-Saxons so bad that it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, come on, man, really? But
Yo,
everybody, just like you said, everybody need to really learn their history and go back, man. It all
go
it
back.
all started with the black man. It all
Yeah.
But
started. That's where it all started.
you tell them whoever it is that's Sicilian, they know. They know that they have. They know that somewhere they got a great black grandfather, great grandfather, some down the line. They know this for a
Yeah,
fact. The thing is, what's so fucked up is that not all. I don't put all of anybody in this situation and say that they bad, but knowing that, understanding that they have a animosity towards black people because of what happened to them, the way they turn around and treat us, we ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm not Carthaginian. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I know the history, but I'm just saying I wasn't in that horde that ran through Italy. You know what I'm saying? We don't have nothing to do with that. The animosity they have toward us is because of their ancestors. What happened to their ancestors?
Yeah.
hmm
That's psychologically. That's what I can say about that. But the bloodline, Sicilians got just. I mean, our DNA matches because they got black in them.
Now, Jamel, one of your one of our he's a supporter at times, but he hate when he talk about race. John Owens. John Owens just commented and said that black. He said black isn't a race. How you feel about that, Coke? He said
Black.
black isn't a race.
Nobody. First of all, I don't know what the hell he's talking about because nobody said black is a race. I just said yeah, black is. So what is he talking about? He's trying to come. He's trying to hijack the situation. Ask him if he want to know something. Tell him to talk about something that's relevant. And talking about something that's
Well,
on
well,
topic.
well. I'll tell you, he don't feel that there's racism in America. I mean, he's a
Then he a
Trump.
fool.
He's a Trump supporter.
he's a Trump
All right,
supporter. Yeah,
Yeah.
that make him even more of a fool. He don't believe there's no problem with race. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's crazy.
All right. Ask him how he feel about ask him how he feel about a white woman walking up in a black man apartment and killing him and saying this was my house. Ask him how many black people do that to white people.
I mean, and if it does happen, what happens to that black person?
And then what happened to them?
They ain't getting
Exactly.
10. They not getting 10 years in jail. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Like, she got 10 years in jail, and you see the judge consoling her, you see the bailiff consoling her. How you feel about that, Cope? What you think that was about?
I think that's the system. I think the system is built to how they say you remember Django? How when you did something to Master, he was like, Master, you hurt? You all right? You sick? Oh, she gonna do 10 years? So Mammy gets off the bench and said, you gonna be all right. Here, take this Bible if you don't have one. Take this. I feel your pain. Ask that. She did. We gonna keep it 100. She did hug the victim's family. But how many times do you see a judge come off the bench that he hugged anybody?
Never,
I'm sure there's more emotion. Yeah,
Never.
that doesn't happen.
never.
Yeah.
But how much do you think religion played a role in these people forgiving this killer, because she is a killer?
The Bible has everything to do with it because that's what the Bible taught, was how it was taught to us. The little pamphlet-sized Bible, the slave Bible. That's
What you talking
given
about?
our
What you talking about? The slave Bible? What's the slave
the
Bible?
slave the slave Bible was a portion of the Bible that slaves were given to teach them to forgive, to obey your master, turn the other cheek, love thy enemy. Everything that was submissive, that was what was taught. That was the major message that the slave master wanted the enslaved Africans to know. They didn't give them no other book to read, how to cook or clean, or Abraham Lincoln and nothing like that. They gave them a book of obedience. That's what you might as well say.
So do you
And
believe?
for all,
Do you believe in in that? Because do you believe in the Bible?
The Bible in entirety, the way man's history is, the Bible that people are reading right now, I believe that's a portion of it. And they even have recorded where there's books in the Bible that were taken out in the Council of Nicaea. There's portions of it that just are up on the shelf. Like the Bible, if you saw all the words in the scripture, I believe you wouldn't be able to carry it. It would come in maybe the size of the old set encyclopedias. It's just too many words for it to be put in the one book that you carry in hand.
So you think that some things was omitted out on purpose?
Yes, it's condensed. The Bible is condensed and purposely, to suit the purpose of people who wrote it, who wanted it to use it.
Yeah.
And for the most part, by the time it got to continental America, it had been dissected enough to the point where they could just give anybody they wanted to be obedient the book of obedience. That's what I'm gonna call it, not the Bible, the book of obedience, which has been passed down. Those feelings have been internalized to the point that people always know certain things. Love that enemy, turn the other cheek. You understand why people know that so much?
Wow.
Because it's been passed down. That's the most common thing, and that's what they wanted you to know. That's what they wanted you to hear. That's what you want. They want the message to be passed around.
I mean, I think the whole thing with that, like especially Christianity, it was given to us to basically keep us dormant, not fight back and
docile.
And basically docile, right? Because even growing up in Tompkins Projects, in my grandmother apartment in Tompkins Projects, she had this picture of white Jesus. Like I'm talking about like white Jesus, blue eyes, long blondish brown hair, whatever the case was. And then when you read the Bible, they give you a totally different description. So I wish my grandmother was alive so I could ask her, why did you got this hanging on the wall? Like who does this resemble? You know what I'm saying?
Well, everybody's grandma had that. My grandmother had that too.
Everybody's
grandma.
But that means that we was lied to this whole entire time.
And they read the same thing you said. The hair of wool, the skin of bronze.
Yeah.
So they've been bamboozled all their life too, or they was in denial.
Yeah, so this was given to us for a reason. Like we gotta think about who our enemy was at that time. They wasn't giving us stuff to educate ourselves, but they give us the Bible, so it really made no sense.
The book of
and they still not giving us nothing to educate ourselves. I mean, to an extent to where we have to depend upon and work for the system.
Oh yeah,
and work for them.
Yeah.
That's as far as our education is gonna go.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, because look at I'm getting audited every year, right? For some reason, Trump can't even release his tax returns. you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They seem to know a different game than what we know. You know what I'm saying? And we not being taught that game. You know what I'm saying? Like they teaching us like. Why do we got to learn calculus and all this crazy kind of math in school, but they ain't teaching us taxes, something that we're going to have to deal with as soon as we get a job?
Mm-hmm. Simple stuff.
Being steered. Yeah. You being steered in a direction where you be useful to society, not to yourself or nobody else. You learn calculus and all these other things to be a pharmacist, an engineer, something to help them build their society. Not nothing economic where you can open up business, teach other people how to make money, what the stock market is about, those type of wealth building things. They don't want you to know that because money is power.
Yeah. And then like you said, to be pharmacists and things like that. Look what happened when they put all these drugs in our community, right? Because we don't got the boats, we don't got the planes. All these drugs just magically fall in our community, right? So they come in our community. We cook crack. We cooking crack in our community, and the other communities they just dealing with the cocaine without it being cooked. So you get caught with cocaine, you getting less time than when you cook the crack. So they basically sentencing you for more time for being a chemist, a scientist, because it takes science to really cook crack. Anybody can. It's a skill. You know what I'm saying? So why are you getting charged more for cooking crack than having pure cocaine?
Come on, cuz, because you know where you gonna find cracks. You know who cooking up. Listen, you gonna go to where they cooking it. The guys that's cooking it are black, so you criminalize it. You criminalize black life because you know that these guys are gonna be doing it. We gonna more so than anybody else. That's what they want you to believe. But in the white neighborhoods, they cooking crap. They could don't get caught like that. They're not searching for it there. The big setup, that
Right.
was one of the big setups. That was one of the biggest setups, one of the biggest things that they could go on. That everybody's making money in the black neighborhoods off of crack. So of course, dudes are gonna get that money. They gonna take that chance to get paid to eat. They're not gonna let the police and the time scare them. They're gonna do what they gotta do to get paid. So
Yeah.
majority of the times, you're gonna find guys that got hard, not soft on them. Meanwhile, they want you to believe that in the white neighborhoods that they only got soft, they only got powder. That's far from it. People already know, even statistics. One of the statistics that I do believe is that whites use drugs just as much, if not more, than black people.
More.
More.
I mean, look, you're right, but look what's going on now. Like, it's a opioid crisis right now, right? So now it seems like there's a war on drugs and it's hitting their communities. Not only our communities, it's hitting their communities too, right? Big time. So now you got all these crises and things like that. How come they ain't telling us, or how come they ain't saying what they told us? Just say no. Just say no to opioids. You know what I'm saying? When the drug epidemic was in our communities heavy, they just said just say no, and we were supposed to figure it out from there. So why they not keeping that same just say no thing? Because it's affecting another community now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like you saying, why didn't you have that energy back in the day when Harlem was getting taught from the dope and the heroin? They didn't have that saying. They like everybody. The story's already been told. They criminalize black life for every and anything that they possibly can. They'd rather see you OD and reduce your numbers. They'd rather see you on drugs to reduce your productivity. Those things help them do their job in exterminating us. That's self-destructive behavior. But when the same thing happens to them, it becomes a crisis because it reduces their numbers. It reduces their productivity. It makes them look bad. It makes them, all the negativity is transferred onto them. Their kids are always, their lives, their babies are always going to be more important than ours. They're never going to put any emphasis on that. That right now, Purdue and all the pharmaceuticals are scrapping up money to pay the victims of the opioid crisis. What the fuck they talking about? Pay the victims of the opioid crisis? They took that shit. Ain't nobody put no pills down their damn throat. But they damn sure flooded our neighborhoods with coke and crack.
That's
Who we
a fact.
going to sue? Oliver North, the Contras.
That's
Who
a
we going to
fact.
sue to get some money for the crack epidemic?
That's a fact.
Who we gonna sue?
That's a fact. That's a
Yeah.
fact. So look, check this out, man. I don't want to. This was supposed to have been a test run show, and it's looking like that is running good. We got the kinks out. So for everybody that's watching, we're going to be talking about more social issues along with transit. We're going to mix it up a little bit more, make it more broad. I would like to thank Coke for coming on to the show. He's going to be a regular on the show. I would like to thank his cousin Wilson, as we go call him, what Sylvester call him. I'd like to thank cousin Wilson. And LaShawn Craig will be joining the next broadcast.
Oh, that LaShawn. Okay.
Yeah, LaShawn Craig and Coke be
Craig.
going at it. So they you gotta go on Coke. If you ain't Coke friend, add Coke as a friend on Facebook, and you will see them battling back and forth. It gets ugly sometimes, but
It gets ugly.
yeah, it gets ugly.
Ugly word.
It get ugly.
Okay.
So that's why
That's my dude.
they gave me the idea for the show. So look forward to the show in the future. Probably like in the next week or two, and we're going to get it cracking. We're going to talk about all the topics that's going on in America today. We still going to talk about transit issues, and we just go broaden everything. So thanks for tuning in. Y'all can tell the people, leave the people with a final word or whatever y'all want to do.
Man, I said enough, brothers. Y'all just be safe out there.
What you want to say, cuz?
Serious.
All right. No, I just want to tell everybody to be safe out there. I know that y'all hardly hear from me. I know Tremel, Tremel said the same thing. I don't want nobody to think that I faded away. It's just that, just focusing on family right now, but, no, basically I just want everybody to just say, listen, where we are in a quote unquote contract fight, wink, wink. And it's like, what the membership has to understand is that you're the union. And, again, you have to think about that when it comes time to vote for your people who represent you. And you have to think about that every time, and when they do come back with a contract, look at it and read it over and ask questions. Because like I said, history is shown, and even the last couple of contracts, nobody asked questions. I'll just vote on it because, y'all friends or y'all like the representatives coming around and showing you the contract. That's what's going on. Again, this is what has been, this is what has been done with black people. Same thing out here with the issues we were just talking about, to where they play on our emotions.
Look.
So it's the same thing. Hold on, Mel. So it's the same thing with these union people. They playing on your emotions. They playing on the fact that y'all emotionally pay attention to sports and what's going on with in entertainment with Jay-Z and Beyonce and things like that, and that y'all are not focused on yourselves. This is what these people are playing on. Okay, so like I said, everybody just focus on what's in front of you, your contract and your livelihood. That's all I got to say.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
All right.
Peace,
All right.